So what's your name? Yullbrenna.
Hi, you schmucks!
Alright, hey everybody, Yullbrenna here with another Relic Arena gameplay video, and this time we're going to be trying one of the new leaders, Montezuma II. Not only that, we're going to be trying one of the prevailing strategies with this leader that, from what I've seen, is pretty successful, and I wouldn't be surprised it gets patched out soon because of how easy it is to follow. So first, what does Montezuma do? You're going to sacrifice all your relics on the bench to the God of Fate, and he will reward you by transforming them into random level 1 relics. And if the transformed relic is already equipped, it will just combine into the one you have. And then you can upgrade shop. You can just see me doing it there of changing a relic. And then so leveling up your leader, you can transform relics and they can turn into ultimates. At level 3, you can have a chance to get 1 extra level. And then you'll level 4 and 5, it becomes pretty cool, and you'll get 2 extra bench slots. So you're essentially getting more reroll opportunities, and then you get the chance for these gifts and God Relics when you get to max leader. But we're going to kind of be ignoring that for the time being, and we're going to be looking at going with, like I said, the strategy that has been prevailing on Discord and in a lot of lobbies that you'll see, just like this one, because there are some more people playing Montezuma. Again, I only have Montezuma for this 3 games, very similar, so we'll see how I do with this strategy. Again, I think it's half the lobby right now is Montezuma. So what are we going to be doing here? Again, I'm watching a replay, so a little bit different than normal. But what I want to do in this strategy is I'm going to be staying at leader level 1 the entire time for this strategy. I'm not going to go after any of the buffs from the leader. I'm just going to use the essentially reroll mechanic of the leader, and I'm going to leave it like that. And then I'll upgrade to shop 2 as well. So I'm really only upgrading 1 time throughout the entire game, and that is upgrading to shop 2. So if you see that you have a good shop 2 strategy, then this could work out very well for you. And it will be a good leader to play. So you can see I found a few items that I wanted to pick. I put a few into the shop that I want to reroll here. Shuffling things around of items I do want to pick, and then I rerolled, and I get a radio jammer that did upgrade into a level 2 reroll. So not something that I'm looking to play long term, so I'll just keep it in there. And when something like this happens, I can either keep it for the time being, or I can sell it, and I've gained essentially an additional 2 gold because I'm going to be selling this later. So you can see, to start this off, doing fairly well up at the top. It is pretty early in the game. But what I'm going to be going for is a common build that has been showing up. Did a reroll, accidentally rerolled with the silence, so I lost a little bit of gold there. I shouldn't have done that. That was a bit of a mistake by me, kind of just with my shop a little full. But like I said, with this frontliner build, what I'm going to be doing is playing Mirror of Archimedes for the initial stun. And then I'm going to be playing with Tesla Coil, Trojan Shield, and Hot Sauce. So what exactly does this do? Hot Sauce at the super will apply stacks to people that attack you at no mana cost. And then Tesla, of course, after 4 instances of dealing damage, will deal this bonus damage and then potentially heal as well. And you're also going to be dealing damage with Trojan Shield. You can also add some other relics onto this that provide lifesteal. But I think these 2, Hot Sauce and Tesla Coil combination, can be a lot of fun for healing and dealing a lot of damage, especially on a frontline unit. So we'll try this combo. Hot Sauce has been fairly contested in a lot of my lobbies, so something to look out for. But I managed to get it to level 3 quickly, which means I'm going to get the center portion healing for all of the damage dealt. So this should up my survivability just a little bit. We'll see how this goes. This guy does get to my backline. I do have the dinosaur fossil to avoid some of that damage. You can see right now my tank is doing quite a lot of damage, especially with the Tesla Coil, probably with more the Trojan Shield than it is with the Hot Sauce. It's still doing fairly well for the time being. And I found Pythagorean Codex, which will be beneficial with spam spells. Then again, just loading up. The key to this build and to Montezuma is you're going to be rerolling and you're going to be getting these upgrades, and you're not really going to be able to pick what upgrades you get. So you kind of want to play very wide. So you're going to be having spells on every single unit that you have. And so that's what I'm going to be doing for the time being. And that'll just give you the most, because you won't be able to pick your upgrades. And you can't play thin, similar to Abe, where it's just going to upgrade those spells. This is kind of just super unfortunate there. But that's kind of the one way you want to play Montezuma. So it's kind of like Abe Lincoln in this context. Find a lot of spells that I want. And one of my issues here about rerolling is I want to keep a lot of these spells. I wanted to keep Mason Chain and Boots for kind of a Boots, build that I've played fairly regularly, and I do need some backline disruption. So a little unfortunate here when I can't reroll because I want to keep these spells. But I did potentially want to keep Zulu Necklace, so I threw it on my Ranger for the time being. He's not doing too much damage, but doing a little bit of damage with the Zulu Necklace. You can see this tank build going strong here with the hot sauce and the Tesla Coil and the Trojan Shield. So I'm gaining a lot of tank ability and a lot of healing. If I'm going to be going to their backline and with my tank, I like this Tibetan Prayer Wheel, helping a little bit with survivability. And again, I can't really use my reroll mechanic because I want to keep these. Little unfortunate there in that aspect. But I need to get that final unit out, and then I'll be able to use the reroll mechanic again. But this is pretty much it, right? You're not going to see me upgrade my leader or my shop again. And it's just focusing on spells. You can see the power right now of my tank, just healing through all this damage. And if I have the damage to back it up, then we're looking in a really good spot. So tank dealing a good amount of damage. If I can get the hot sauce up, which you can see more and more contested here, and I really want to get that hot sauce up to its first super. Someone already getting their first juicy of the game, which is pretty wild for round 9. Where is that juicy? You can see right here in last place. So Abe got Abraham Lincoln got a huge reroll. You can see some of these players playing. There's some guy who clearly has no sense of humor here in 5th place, so I'm excited to beat him. And let's get back into this. Slowing down a little bit on damage here. You can see my Ranger doesn't have much attack speed, so that's been a bit of an issue. My Witch, I think I like the build. I just need to get more points into it, and it should be good. I like the King Tut's Mask Juicy, so I'll definitely look into that. And you can see I picked up PED because that may be something I want to do on my Ranger, just to get some more attack speed up and work on getting those cannons up. So I'll switch things around, shuffle it, and that should be good. So you can see I fill up my bench, do the reroll. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now that I've got the Boots build, of course, this Boots build does thrive in the early and mid game and will fall off in the late game. And that's where the Ranger will come in, and hopefully my tank build will come into play too. So Ranger build, always a classic with Mace of Chain and Boots, and we'll just keep an eye on that, make sure we're getting our spells up. So I got this one, and I went for the Exploding Frogs. I think just the initial magic damage will help out in the early game, and then I'll decide if I'm getting a lot of magic damage, then I'll go for the reducing of the magic armor, and if I'm doing a lot of physical damage, then I'll reduce the physical armor. So you can kind of play into your strengths there, but I like the exploding frogs first for the initial burst of damage. Tesla Coil exploding this guy's illusions, but the rest of my team does die, and we're really close here. I get silenced, and that's probably the end of it for me. So that was the first place player right there. So losing to first place, not the big deal, especially when I'm in second place. And it looks like he's doing the same strategy as I am with level 1 leader and shop level 2. And you can see the other two Montezumas are going for max leader and max shop. So you can see the power of their build. They're potentially falling off here. But this build, you can see it is meta, especially against a top player, who I believe he's 6 or 7k. So pretty good player. Maybe not a top player, but definitely a good MMR. This guy has a lot of illusions, but I think the Tesla Coil counters that very well. And falling off a little bit here, losing to third place. So Asturia in the top, but I'm still, again, Hot Sauce extremely contested. All I need to get it to really is its first super. But definitely finding a lot of Tesla Coil, that's been helpful as well. I'm going to steal the attack speed and the movement speed with each activation, and that'll hopefully slow down a lot of the carries that I've been facing that have been dealing with increased attack speed and are killing my tank. You can see I also got Persian Carpet. Love doing that with the Mason Chain Boots combo so I can get to the back line. And I'm really getting there on King Tut's Mask. Again, I really like that Juicy for the AoE damage, which is something I'm lacking for the time being. And just essentially more damage is what I need since I don't have a lot of tank ability outside of my main tank. This guy's pretty grouped up, which actually works out well for my build. The exploding frogs did a lot of work there, it looks like. And yeah, you can see my witch got up there in damage. And there's the exploding frogs again when there's only one person left. Huge amount of damage. Again, my builds are filled out, so I want to always make sure I'm using my free reroll essentially. So I'll just buy the spells, use the reroll, and I get an automatic upgrade to the helmet. So working out well so far. And if I need to sell things, if I want to get something else, I can always sell one of my spells that are on my bench and buy something such as that. I don't have to worry too much about gold because I'm not upgrading my shop, I'm not upgrading my leader. So leaving 1 gold, leaving 0 gold, I can always do the reroll mechanic if I want to. A little bit of an odd interaction there with the boots. He's kind of wiggling back and forth. But those frogs did a huge amount of damage, and I took that guy down. Again, Witch in second place in damage. So it's looking pretty good with my Witch build. Really like it. Really just need to get up my Ranger build for that sustained damage. I get the helmet. I don't really need the cast instantly. I'm not too worried about getting jumped, so I could probably go with the health regen just to make sure that he's staying alive. And of course, with Lunar Laser, I'm always going to go pure damage and the stun. If you're getting jumped a lot, maybe you could go with the knockback, but I also like the Pythagorean Codex for that knockback if I can get it to the Juicy, which is what I plan to do. So unfortunate that I get stunned there. So I didn't get off my Mason Chain combo. But my tank doing a lot of work here. Gotta watch out for this huge nuke. But I just managed to take him down, and you can see the frogs actually working out very well. And I obviously went with the lowering the magic armor since I'm doing a lot of magic damage with my tank and with my witch. So good showing there of the frog damage. Definitely one that I like taking. More Mason Chain. I'm kind of just, again, going for it on everything because you don't know what upgrades you're going to get on Montezuma. And finally, the Hot Sauce shows up. I get it to level 3, which means I can do attack, applies a stack when you get attacked. So this should hopefully up my damage and my healing on my tank. You can see not too much actually in the damage department for my tank, but he did get tossed back, so he wasn't really getting attacked a lot. More upgrades, getting my boots up there. I'm just going to go with the additional armor. I'm already getting the armor from the Mason Chain too, so hopefully that makes him a little tankier. And I decided to go with the Monkey's Paw. The 20% attack damage increase would combos very well with the boots, and then I'll probably get the lifesteal if I can get it up in time. We'll see what happens here. But I got a lot of time. I'm in second place. There's a lot of health on the top 4. Really showing my tank survivability here. Did a lot of good work, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did a lot of damage as well. So the more he's tanking, the more damage he's dealing. Really fun build here. Again, super contested though. Hot Sauce has just been one of those builds that gets extremely contested. And I'm going to go for more slowing of the attacker's speed, just so that I'm not getting completely killed by a lot of these people with these physical ranger builds that I've been seeing. Back on a winning streak too, so is third place. And we're slowly getting down to it with getting into the top 4 and rounding into the late game here. This is against first place, so let's see how this goes. And I take down his Mason Chain combo. My tank is doing fairly well against his Illusion build, but he does have the Kevlar build, and that's been a little bit frustrating. I don't have it on mine. I've got the Dinosaur Fossil instead. Maybe I could have gone with that. And I just lose out. He hit me with a huge crit. Oh, I should have taken him down there. That was a bit unfortunate. So showing that I can go toe-to-toe with first place. And getting the 400 radius for hopefully helping out my tank, but there's also the pulse damage to enemies, and that maybe will provide a little bit of that damage that I need to get over the hump and beat him. So we'll see if that works. Again, not too worried about it. Just losing to first place. It's a good sign. Let's see how I do. This is third place. Yeah, really weird mechanic. Like, Boots is acting a little funny, I think, since the update. But I absolutely take this guy down. All of my units survive. Absolutely crushed him. Which is what I like to see. Unfortunate I didn't get any upgrade there, but now Hot Sauce is popping now that more people are out. And I don't need the cast range, so I'll just go ahead and get the movement and attack speed. And I finally get my first Juicy, which is the Codex. So now you're going to teleport to a random location after I fall below 30% HP, and I'm untargetable apparently as well. So a really good survivable mechanic, so I don't have to worry too much about getting jumped to my backline, and hopefully I can outlast some of these other builds. Facing first place again. I'm taking down his frontline no problem. It's really this ranger that's been a bit of an issue, and he's just surviving a little bit longer than mine is. And I transported to another, but I already had the porcelain toilet on me. So a bit unfortunate there. I get the Persian carpet up to its first super, which of course I'm going to go with the silence. Great to go for the back line. You can see some people hitting their juicies, a little bit concerning here. So I probably need to hit some of my spells too. I'm a little close on some things. We'll see what happens here. Top 3, all Montezuma builds. I'm facing third place here. Let's see how this goes. Take down his catapult, really good sign there. The frog's doing good work. And I take him down again. So he's not doing so hot, and it's really just me and first place that are going for it here. So we'll see how I do. Again, always check. Now that I'm in the top 3, I'm going to be able to see who I'm going after. That ranger build is the problem for me, so I'm going to have to probably do some adjustment on my positioning. Shuffle a little bit over. I really want him to attack my tank. And unfortunately, I jump away from his ranger, so all of my AoE damage is just a completely away from his ranger. My witch does teleport to the back line, but then gets hit by a disable. Bit unfortunate in that aspect. I thought they were untargetable, but I guess they can still get hit by things that are not getting hit by the target. So now I get Monkey's Paw, get that up, and I finally get my second juicy of the game and my third juicy of the game. So the helmet activating when I'm attacking, so I should have relatively good uptime on Unstoppable. And then of course the King Tut's Mask, so that is spawning the Ice and Firestorm dealing damage. So I really like this for more AoE damage. Hopefully this takes down a lot of his illusions. And facing third place who disconnected. So this should be an easy win. Looks like he just disconnected here. He wasn't beating either of us anyways. You can see the King Tut's Mask doing a huge amount of AoE damage. And yeah, managed to take this guy down fairly easily. He's at 1 health actually. But yeah, managed to take him down pretty easily. Also his name sucks too, so he's a douche. And we will continue on and see if I can finally take down first place. So again, watching for it, I really want to take down this ranger, and he can definitely tell because he's moving around his ranger a lot. Last second adjustment. Let's see if this works. If I can finally get my Mason Chain combo. Again, it jumps away, but I do hit some of his illusions there, and I take him down with the King Tut's Mask. But my witch goes down. I take him down, but then I get stunned, and he has just so many illusions. Again, so close to taking him down. Really unfortunate there. Get up the dinosaur fossil, so I'm going to get that stun as well. And then I get another pop-up of a juicy. You can see the juicy's popping a lot with Montezuma. Really good. So I'm going to be doing an attack to all enemies in the spin with the Monkey's Paw. That's going to be a nice combo. So hopefully another damage spike for me. Really need to take down these illusions. I need to take down his backline in first place. And I forgot, somehow this guy is still in it, even though he disconnected. But really not worried about this guy's build at all. I've been able to beat him, and now that he's disconnected, it's really not an issue. So a bit unfortunate that he disconnected. But again, I hadn't been too worried about him all game. And he's officially gone, so now it's down to the final two. We're both at 34 health too, so this could potentially be a one and done. And get my third, sorry, not my third, but another juicy, but my third on the witch, and that is entering Nirvana, so I'm getting 40% max health and damage. I can be putting that probably on my ranger for that build that's going to be doing a lot of damage. You can see it is topping the charts right now, so it'll be a good power spike. And I'm bunching up here to try to keep him from guessing where I'm going to be. I finally land on his ranger. His ranger just survives. I take down his, and I take him down. So as you see, when I finally get the Persian carpet onto his ranger, it isn't too much of an issue. So it really just comes down to this positioning game. Huge upgrade there, Monkey's Paw. So I'm getting a buff, getting 200% attack damage until your next attack. That'll be big. And then I also have Tesla Coil, so that will do huge lightning bolt strikes to enemies periodically. And you can see here, I'm bunching up again, so we can't guess my positioning. And see if this works out, because it really just comes down to killing that ranger and killing that backline witch before he can take down my backline. So at the end, spreading him out. Let's see if this worked. He moved his ranger really close to try to avoid the carpet, and he did for the most part. I do get the King Tut's Mask off on him, but just miss out on that. Again, not getting my ranger onto him has been a problem, and it really comes down to a positioning game at this point. Getting the Endeavor Cannon So now they're piercing unstoppable, which should hopefully help against his backline. He's also doing a or a boots build, but he has the unstoppable, and hopefully now I can pierce the unstoppable with my cannon, and I don't have to worry about that build as much because I want to think that he is doing a good amount of damage with that build. And yeah, it looks like that's one of his top builds too. He's doing it with Tesla Coil for some healing and added damage. So very similar to my build as well. Doing a little bit more damage. See if I can take him down. I'm going to shuffle. We're both on our last life. This is probably the final round here. And there you go. He's hitting my tank. I take down everybody else, and now it's just his ranger. And then I take him down as well. So huge round, huge win with Montezuma. Great strategy that will probably get patched out soon, but use it to gain as much MMR as you can. Thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Check out these other videos, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.